Hello friends, and welcome back to my Flock and Squawk, another Julymas. And I made this completely off camera, but I want to talk about it because it is, I think it might be my favorite thing that I've sewn that's a garment so far. It's in it's a contender for that. But just revel in its joy. It took me like 2 months to do this because I started the patchwork, stopped, and then over the last few days I've been working on it off camera. And then I self-drafted this baseball tee style, which, I mean, that's kind of lost in a patchwork like this, but I just love how they come together, of being able to just do a few quick seams, not actually set in sleeves. And yeah, it's lined with a thrifted bedsheet. Super soft, by the way. Super soft. And then, yeah, I made it oversized to be comfy. And then, obviously the cotton doesn't really have that much stretch. Cookie is crying up a storm. But yeah, so just kind of basking in this still. But there's a little issue in this armpit, so let's fix that. And then also, I want to put some sort of label on this. I never really do that on my quilts that I've done. I really should and want to start doing that. So we are going to fix the tiny whoopsie in the armpit and put a label on this for this Julymas. So let's just get over to the actual table, which is right behind you. So, oh, Gaggy, you're so cute. Gogs. Gaggy has been like extra crazy lovey lately. And then if you heard any hissing, Creamu, our other cat, just looked in and hissed. She really does not like little Gogwort. Gaggy, I'm gonna need you to not be too crazy. Okay, so it is this armpit, and as you might be able to see, if it won't focus, is that it has a little issue where the stitching didn't quite catch. Wonder how I should best do this. So it is in the armpit, so I'm not too concerned about, and since it's patchwork, that makes it even better because it'll probably look intentional. So let's see. I'll get back to you when I fully figure this out. So I've been looking at this for a little bit, and I've decided, and I've prepped a needle and thread. I'm going to hand sew because it's kind of coming apart here where this patchwork is connected, and then where this patchwork, and then the actual armpit area. I guess a little bit of just chill sew with me, maybe some voiceover on my sort of thought process when it comes to doing the like label. First off though, I used the ladder stitch and then a straight stitch for patching this up. I was able to do pretty inconspicuous stitches using ladder, but I decided to do some straight just to be safe. And I thought about it while I was doing this. I didn't have any audio on to distract me, and I decided I would just use my embroidery machine. It'll be really quick and a fun thing to do, so we'll do that after all of this. And with that, my armpit is fully mended. Like I said, I just did the ladder stitch, and then I went ahead and I just did a straight stitch because it's not really going to be seen that easily because it's armpit and patchwork, but it should be quite durable now. As for the label, I'm going to have to set up my machine to get the embroidery part done, I think on the cats. So I will have to hoop my machine and get it all set up. Haven't done some embroidery on it in a while. See how it goes. So before I could actually start using my machine, I had to set it up, like I said, which meant that I had to move around a whole bunch of stuff in my craft room to access it. But it was pretty straightforward to get to it since I've been cleaning and working in my room quite a bit lately. The hard part was actually hooping this. Now, I definitely should have done this before having constructed the garment, but you learn as you go, and this is just a great reminder that next time I need to be preemptive about my labels or my tags, however you want to put it, however I want to do it next time. It definitely could have been better, but I got it all hooped and then in the machine. But all that being said, I basically just let the machine do all the work while I watched and while Goggy watched. embroidery machine just stopped and I turned it off, and it's not the cleanest just because of how I had to hoop it. I definitely should have done this before stitching it all together, but I think for speed and everything, this is a good option. This is just a gift to myself, so I'm not concerned with it being perfect. If I was concerned with it being perfect, I would not make it myself, because I don't feel that anything I do is really perfect. So, and obviously I put in a lot of effort to what I do, but there's still a level of always feeling not quite with a project. Like, there's always something that could be done. But I think YouTube has kind of helped me get over some of that, because sometimes done is better than never having completed anything. Sometimes it's just nice to be like, I finished something instead of I stressed about something. So I'm going to quickly finish trimming these off and then I'll show you and we can have a little chat. So ignored the chaos in the back, but I'm so happy that I made this. And like I was saying, it's easy to get caught up in being perfectionist and everything, but at the end of the day, like, would you rather have something that you've finished and done, or a million loose ends and feeling frazzled because nothing you do is finished and you feel like, I'm speaking basically about myself here, you feel unaccomplished or silly, but also, like, just doing something for the joy of it and like putting in your best effort is enough. And then if we're kind of relating this back to my whole Julymas thing of like, this project took me a while and I was able to spend a decent amount of time on it each day for the last couple bit. So if you're working on a homemade project or homemade gift, especially one that you plan on for Christmas, or if you have a birthday later this year like I do, like, maybe start on it now. You don't have to do a lot. There are a lot of sew-alongs that are happening right now. So if there's something like that that you can get a part of to, you know, help inspire you, or, you know, if you're doing something patchwork kind of like this, where you don't need a lot of any particular fabric, and you just slowly work on it over time. Like, it's a great time to start because you have months until Christmas, and if there's any like specific finishing work, with Joann's gone, it's hard to find certain things, so it gives you more time to look. I highly recommend starting now, and the recipient of your gift of something that you handmade, regardless on if you had help or it's from a pattern and not self-drafted, just they will appreciate that you put in the time and the effort. I have to appreciate myself for putting in the time and the effort, even if it's imperfect. The imperfections let people know that it's homemade, handmade, and that it was a labor of love. Obviously, there are certain imperfections that are difficult to get over, but it just means that you've gotten better at your craft by fixing this little armpit. It gives me a chance to practice my hand sewing. By doing the patchwork, I originally started sewing quilts, so it lets me do some of that nice, like, meditative sewing, whereas I find garments to sometimes be a little bit difficult. And then it also gave me experience pattern drafting and adjustments and what I will do different. But yeah, thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed this Julymas. I'm making little videos throughout the month of July that kind of harken back to Christmas. I'm currently doing every other day, so if you like that, please stick around or check out the rest of my channel if you like this. But thank you so much for watching, and I hope you flock and squawk again with me sometime. Bye!